What up, what up? Good morning. It is Thursday the 29th. Lonnie here with ChartsNLabs. Hope everybody had a good day yesterday. I did record a couple videos. I had a couple good plays yesterday with QQQ. I scaled in, scaled out, and that was a good trade after all, but it didn't happen until later in the day. Oh man, sorry. So I didn't make for a really good video because it took so long, and I kind of preemptively knew it was going to be a real stagnant morning. Um, and you know that sorry, distracted. Um, that was just because we're very toppy on the market, but we have a lot of bad news kind of driving. And I might have missed my exit on this play. Also, at the end of the day yesterday, I got into this Intel put. Yesterday, going into the day, Max Payne is a point of reference on options that we look at to see kind of where the overall push is going to be. And Max Payne for Intel was 46. So I thought there was going to be a push to 46, and after that rally up to 48. Well, as yesterday unfolded, Max Pain Point has moved up to 50. So I probably should have looked for a lower exit, and I was 0.52 was the high, and I had mine set, as you can see on the screen, for 0.55. So I was a little bit too high on my exit. I should have just did the 50 cent. I have a 0.41 entry, so that was above 20%. That would have been a great exit. I just set it a little too high. So before we jump into this, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you some familiarity based on my perspective with the market and how things go, so that you can make these decisions on your own and be comfortable making them. So let's do a little recap of what we did yesterday. First, and then we'll get into trading today. Oh, of course, nothing's in a load now. We made a really good play on silver yesterday. Literally called the pivot point, played the put down to it. Of course, I didn't. If I would have not played Intel, I would have had the funds lined up to be able to make the call and be back up huge today. There is a little bit of a dollar weakening going on as the U.S. is selling the dollar to buy international currencies, specifically the Japan yen, because the Japan yen is collapsing. Okay, so this reversal point is where I try to get in, and I was in profit for a little bit, and then there was a huge spike that messed me up, and then it came back down. So this reversal point was where I got into my puts, trying to capture the move down, and all I want is the move back down off of this huge move up. The news driving Intel going up after the terrible earnings was the fact that NVIDIA announced that they are pivoting to using Intel more in the year 2028, as they're pivoting away from Taiwan Semiconductor for supply issues. So that is part of where that is coming from. We're looking like we're trying to build back. I should lower my profit point a little bit, but we're gonna watch this one. We're gonna watch Intel. Let's check on the other chart, and there's some serious downward momentum. So I need this guy to go down here. I missed it by 3 cents. I could have already been done with that guy, and I would have loved to be. So now we need probably a 46.90 price test, which is not completely out of 46.90. 46.60 is where this candle actually opened, the body of this candle. So 46.90 is not too far back. All right, so we're gonna let that sit. We'll go into QQQ and I'll show you what I did yesterday. This was when I finally took my position, and I kind of did it on this gut. So instead of waiting for it to break out of the range, I kind of saw that it was struggling to break above, as 1, 2, 3, 4 failed attempts to break out of this opening range. And then when it was down here at the bottom of where all these were kind of conjugated, and it was a huge doji where the body was so small, huge wicks on both sides, I got into puts, thinking that it was going to at least reverse and test this, let alone did it break out of it. I left a little bit of money on the table. I think it went lower than I was anticipating. But I did ride until this point, and I ended up with like a 28, 29% or something like that. It was a good play. Ended up buying 6 of them, and then I sold them in groups of 2, which is a great strategy. I sold 2 at like 22%, 2 at 33%, and 2 at 30% is how it kind of ended up working out to get out of that. So that was a great exit. And then I got into SLV before the Fed talk, and I just nailed this put down. So I saw this move. It came up and it tested, and as soon as this started about right here, and it got to this point, broke below, I jumped in that put and rode it down. I could have got even more. I left a little bit on the table, but really not much because I was looking at this 101.89. Oh, no, that wasn't the one I got into. I think that was what showed me that. That's what triggered my alert. Yeah. Honestly, I went down to 100. Okay, sorry. Slightly confused. I must have bought on this trigger. Let me see what time I bought so I could remember. I remember it hit my target. What time did I buy you? My history. I bought this one at just before 8 a.m. and then we sold it at 10:45. So a little bit longer play, but 8:45 or about 8 o'clock was right. Okay, so moved down and kind of was in this range. So I on the ride up, and we started getting these wicks. Triggered me to buy. Big wick, red under the moving line. I bought, and it actually went red. That's right. I was down for a little bit on that one, but I had confidence in it because of the weakening, or the dollar started picking up. If you look at Dixie, this started running up right here, and that's where I looked to see silver go down as a reverse of the dollar. So it grew that. And as soon as we hit this big wick, then I was in good, and it broke under this levels when I think I went in a good profit, and I was just riding it until it bounced, and it was either going to bounce at this level or bounce at this level, and following the cloud, kept it long enough. As soon as we had this big wick right here, I got out of it, and then it ran up. I wish I would have been able to get in the calls because that would have been a great play on the back end. But I was allocated into this Intel short put position. So we're still kind of fading. I just need a little dollar. If we could just get a little dollar out, I should have. Hindsight, I really wish I had that set for 50 cents and not. My one friend likes to say that he told me so on everything. He's a good hindsight trader. He's funny. Hold on one second. Cool. All right. So we're getting ready to get into our trade. We're coming into the 15 minutes. We're going to look at QQQ. Slightly biased because we're looking at a max pain of 629. This could be very flat. If we look at the last while, 45-minute candle, we can see there's some slight uptrend holding right here, building. So if we go look at this guy and say bing, bing, and then we can see the tops of this is even in that same channel. And I could even zoom in a little bit to get a little bit more accurate with that. Okay. And then that's where we fell off, actually. If we would have seen that, if we would have seen this guy, if we drew this yesterday, we would have seen that this was the point of turn. So let's look and see. We're back into a previous day's range. If we go into the 15-minute, 2 days ago, this was the opening range on Tuesday. This is where we're at right now. That's kind of interesting. Well below yesterday's opening range, which again was pretty choppy, and we're following this downtrend pretty accurately too. It's kind of crazy how these trends can carry beyond the days that they were setting in. This pattern was establishing itself, and I could even make it a little bit more accurate now that I have a couple more contact points. And this was yesterday's downtrend, and we're in that channel now. There is some serious uncertainty with the war talk going on, Trump putting a nuclear deal on the table or face military action is causing uncertainty. Microsoft had a bad earnings and is driving a lot of stuff down as well. Then you got the economic data that came out wasn't that great. Jobless data came out today. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. It's pointing to hiring starting, but still not like fantastic. We don't have that great employment, so it's gonna be tough to play the range on this one. This is a huge range, and it's already below it. So this is the opening range candle. So let's first, we're gonna remove, unless we were just gonna replay this one, that would be kind of ironic, but I gotta come up with a different color. I'm gonna leave all these lines. I know this is gonna get very clouded and probably bother some people because it's a very busy I guess I could delete the purple. I'm gonna remove the purple because those are all-time high kind of levels. We're gonna remove that one. We're gonna remove that one. We're gonna leave the green and we're gonna leave our red because that is the range that we're trying to play. So the fact that it's already outside of it on a very quick move as that 5-minute closed, and the next one hasn't closed outside of it, so it's not really like a fully confirmed orb play. Very much could come back into it. I'm leaving the older one white from Tuesdays just because it is the range that we're in. So it's kind of overlapping a little bit. We have this is going to affect this range is going to have a volume weighted effect on our current one. So this could be the bounce here, and it could actually fail this range to retest this range as we see that this wick down and tested Tuesday's range again. So sometimes leaving these lines up from previous day can help you with your next trade. Yep, there we go. Intel's gonna run back up today. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Could have got a win out of that. So annoying. Switch this to percent, and if we would have been okay with our 50, we would have had a 21.5% overnight. Like I said, I had it held for 55 because I was just a little bit on the higher side. Would have been 34.7. All because I set the repeating number factor and missed. So that's sad. We're waiting to see what Intel's move is going to be. With QQQ was diving off of Microsoft, and Microsoft is a big customer for Intel. I'm willing to hold this play for a little bit longer. I did get out of my AMD call, which would have probably been better today. I would have sold it yesterday anyway, and I sold it on accident yesterday because I was actually trying to average into another one. But I'm not great at using Robinhood on the computer because when you go to buy another contract that you already have, it defaults into selling it for you. And I sold it at 195, which is what it's at now, which is just kind of funny that it got back there. It did go all the way down to 160, so like that was kind of cool. What did it? High was 345. What? The fact that somebody bought that for 345 is crazy today. Low $1.20. It's going back down. So yeah, this is about where Intel was yesterday. It looks like it's down a little bit because I think we got up to 0.22 is where we're at. It was like 0.29. Intel back over 48. So the downtrend that I'm looking for to hold to keep my put in play. I'm gonna make this be this magenta to not confuse with red. And then I guess it's even this one, and we'll go to the wick. So I might follow this down. 46.33 is a long way to go. I don't think it can get that low, but I need to break down. And then as far as plays goes, I'm not super thrilled with everything. Like I said, QQQ is in a weird one. It is breaking down right now. The macro is bad, and it's still drilling. I think this is pretty heavily influenced by Microsoft. Google's down pretty bad. I'm curious if I want to get more of these. I don't like overcommitting. I really like Intel going up. They have their max pain, I said, moved up from 46 to 50. Their week is very volatile after their earnings last week, so that I feel like that's where that is all playing into. If I was to make another play on them, I wouldn't count it as averaging down. I'd count it as a separate play, which is the more disciplined approach that you got to look at. When you're down on one, don't try to group the loser with the winner. Because if this did break down below 48.07 and did run down even to 47.50, that could be a great play on its own without trying to make them a combined total play. We're going to see this little support level, and that's the level of interest I have. It's got to get under 47.50, undoubtedly. I just don't think I want to play more of this one. If I wanted to buy 8 of them, I guess it's only another $200. Now we're in it. So now I have 20 of them. So we got to cancel this order. I got those at 0.25, so I'm only looking at getting the profit off of those ones. It would be a great play. But let's see where I can get this to. 47.50 gets it to 0.4, which is a 15%. That would be my break even on the other ones. Let's see if I got all the way to 47. Then that would hit my profit point. Crazy. Then I'd have a huge profit. So we're watching how this goes. Need to see if Intel's wanting to break down. I'm saving this for a separate play. I might let the morning ride out, and I might make an afternoon play, or I might make more. I might get into more TXC. Looking at the market right now with QQQ and everybody, QQQ is drilling. Tech is going down. I guess I don't know. I don't like the play. It's in a weird inflection point. I think it's likely going to want to come back up, but today could go down enough to where they could bring it up tomorrow. There's a point that they want it this week, because we're on that Thursday. Like, the whole point of Thursday is to sell Friday's position. Is the way you look at it, and I know it's all that seems kind of tinfoil hatty, of like, what are they doing with the market? They're influencing it or they're faking it. A lot of people will tell you it is, or laugh at you for it, but you can't. Even if they're not influencing it, it's like manually by artificially moving the price. The contracts move the price, and that max pain factor is always going to be a magnet to moving the price around. Where big money puts the contracts is what's going to drive it. As contracts go into the money or out of the money, there's going to be a pull or a push. So we're going to see if we could get out of this play. Intel has the positive upside, and I've liked Intel for a long time. This week was really negative, and some rebalancing. There was some insider buying and some NVIDIA positive comments, which was great. So there is a little bit of a bias to the upside that I have, and that a lot of retail has. But the overall, there's a lot of red in the markets right now, and we got even silver was up like 4% today, and I think it's pulled all the way back. I thought it had a big open. Yeah, well, maybe not 4, but it was up pretty big, and even they're pulling back. This is these guys are, I believe they're nuclear. Oh, fission power plants, reliable, affordable energy, developing advanced fuel recycling technologies. They have government deals. So these guys are a decent play. Might be something I look at, especially if this Iran stuff is gonna simmer out and we can get back into some positive sentiment. But Iran drama on the weekend means for a crazy Friday and crazy Monday. Oil prices went up pretty big. I might look at getting into some calls on these guys, but I don't want to get in. What does next week look like? They're just probably so expensive. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. These guys are one that I started telling everybody about again. They were, I guess we gotta go back farther than that. Yeah, look at all, when I was watching them. Told everybody about them. It was probably right around here, maybe. No, it was here, because I think it was 13. It was in this range is when I started telling everybody about them in the beginning of the year. I said, watch out. They're talking about doing satellites in space for the data centers. GILT is a communication satellite. In order to put the data centers up in space, you got to be able to communicate that information back to Earth. And this would have been a good time to re-enter. I guess now it hit the 20, and I was afraid it wouldn't be able to get to 20. Now to maybe add, we're going to look for 1850. Rocket Lab is another one I really like. Satellite company. A lot of successful launches out of New Zealand. Links to NASA and deals coming. They've been doing really well. Of course, Intel is probably now running positive because I added more puts. So we got a green going. Nvidia, AMD, Irene. Original Bitcoin miner turned data center. They are killing it. I like. My buddy actually found this name and he didn't even know what they were. He said they were just an energy company. And then we found out that they were a Bitcoin miner and then they turned into a data center. He was invested in these guys all the way back when they were $6. He was playing them as shares from 6 to 7. Wait till you see this chart. Look at that. $5, $6. He was playing this boring and then all of a sudden he got out of it around when they were 17.20. And then they absolutely ripped. So really, really fun to find a gem like that. It does a lot for you. It makes you excited playing those guys. This is your number one held stock by all Republican Congress people. It's had quite the year too. Some data centers are all very mixed right now, mostly red because we had a really good big run up yesterday. And tech is in question today. So if you're going to play a bounce, today could be it, but you're also being very risky. It's crazy to go against the grain, I guess, is the odd play. So this has to lose the 90, which is 47.85 is what we're looking to lose for the downside. I'm actually up on those from the 0.25. So, yeah, I'm probably going to be pretty light today. I might make an afternoon play, but I just wanted to give you guys mostly a recap of what happened yesterday. It's not going to give me very much data. I did go down a little bit, did go up a little bit. It was a good day. It was overall a good day. I made some money. I lost a little bit on the Intel deal. When it was down big overnight, it looked like I lost, but I made money on SLV. And then I'll show you guys the QQQ exit real quick. That was, like I said again, that was a little bit more of a preemptive exit. So I bought just that one at 0.95. And then it went up and I was in profit and then it came back down and I said, you know what? I have confidence in this. Let's party. Bought 5 more, which gave me the 6, and my average was 0.99. I had my set for 144, and then it got up to like 130 and trailed back, and I was like, dang it, lost it. And it came down to like 115. And then when it recovered and showed that strength again, I said, okay, well, I'm going to scale out and make this right. I'm going to show people how scaling out gives you that ability to hold longer and can capture some more profit with limiting your risk. So I sold 2 at 1.22, 2 at 1.33, and then as it was running, I tried to get the 1.44, and as soon as it failed at 1.33 and came back, I sold them at the 1.3, which gave me like 28.7% profit on QQQ. And then I bought that silver. This one I bought my USDC, and then I went and I added to my TXC bot with that, transferred that over, and we're gonna look at my bots. It's down a little bit, but that's where I added that 188. Back to being a little flat and boring, a lot of zero volume. There's a little bit of action going on. TXC just isn't the most active yet, but we're hopefully going to do that. Every Friday I'm going to start doing Zooms to kind of help with the market and hopefully get some people available to come into that and party a little bit. There's buying opportunity in there, and we can move the needle. So yeah, that's what happened yesterday, and then I got into these Intel ones, thinking that 46 was max pain, and there was a lot of contracts purchased yesterday, and it moved max pain all the way up to $50. So today is probably not going to be a huge down day or a huge up day because $50 needs to stay in range, unless there's a big move down and a big move up tomorrow. So if there's a big move down today, that's why I'm holding my buying power. Because if I get to sell these puts in profit in between point 0.4 and point 0.5, that'll be a nice profit day because I bought more of them. What I'm going to do is use that $1,000 that I still have as buying power, and I'm probably going to grab some calls back for a recovery on Friday if max pain holds at $50 for this week. So we shall see. But that's kind of the strategy right now. I'm gonna jump off this. I don't want this to be super long and watching Intel, bounce around on a mostly flat market now that we've opened. And I have a pretty important phone call coming up at 7:30, so look forward to that. And I got to be ready for it. So there's your little update from yesterday. I do have those videos. I might try to get them out. They just weren't. There was no meat in them besides those trades, and so if I could clip them, maybe I'll clip them. I'll mess with that a bit, and we shall be back later this afternoon. I will get in again and make another one to make up for no video yesterday. So need a rejection on the volume weighted moving average to continue this downtrend, but this is pretty indicative of this uptrend right here. Like I said, 50 is the number for this week for Intel, and we shall see. But let's tune in this afternoon and see how the market goes. These volatile days where things are moving really sharp are tough to play. Sometimes they're very risky, so be careful out there. Make sure you maintain your discipline. Discipline always wins. Have a good day, guys.